Okay, so everyone facing backwards.
Oh, yeah. Where are you from?
Florida.
Florida?
Yeah.
All the way in Florida. Wow, you got big. All right, as we turn around and make our way towards that aerial lift bridge, you can just see the bottom part there. That right now is for pedestrians, bikers, and cars.
We're not going forward. We're going back.
And it connects the city of Duluth on what will be our left when we get pointed that direction. And to the right, it's a 7-mile spit of land called Minnesota Point or Park Point. That bridge is the only way between Duluth and Minnesota Point, unless you're swimming. And during the shipping season, on the half hour, top and bottom of the hour, the bridge is scheduled to lift, allowing boats like ours to go through. That's why our tour leaves at 25 after, so we can time the lifting of that bridge to scoot on under there. The aerial lift bridge is one of the most iconic sites in Duluth. It was built in 1905, converted to its current form in 1929. It can be raised to its full ship clearance of 138 feet in 3 minutes. This is 3 times as tall as the Hollywood sign out in Hollywood Hills. For us, it won't need to lift all the way, but we'll see some boats later on the tour where it would need to lift to its full clearance in order to allow those big ships to pass under. The little cottage in the middle of the lower part of the bridge is where the bridge tender lives. That person is in charge of ship traffic in and out of the harbor. There's someone there 24/7. And they've got fantastic views of the city, the harbor, and Lake Superior. In just a minute, that bridge will start to lift. There she goes. During the shipping season from mid-March to mid-January, this bridge will raise 4,500 tons. The Vista fleet that you're on now will pass under the bridge about 1,000 times during our season. Up to the left and the right, underneath the bridge, you can see the traffic and the pedestrians that are waiting for us right now. Patiently. We're currently in the Duluth Ship Canal. This was built in 1870. Duluth and Superior, Wisconsin share a natural harbor. Duluth got the idea to build this ship canal first. When Wisconsin heard about it, they rushed to court to try to stop it. The Duluth folks knew they had a few days before the court injunction would come, so they called their citizens down to the canal area. Bring your shovels, your pitchforks, your spoons, help out. Lo and behold, by the time the Wisconsin injunction came through, the first thing the person saw looking this way was a ship coming through the canal like we are passing right now. It was too late. The canal was completed and remains today. Too expensive to fill, and they found that it moved the flowage in the St. Louis River. Nice sailboat on our right. For a beautiful day on the lake. If you look off to the left at about the 8 o'clock position, you will see a rectangular sunken structure just offshore. It has, looks like 4 windows and a door. The rumor was this was the remains of an old gambling den, but in fact, it's some shipping infrastructure. Before I talk about it further, let me just point out on either side of that, if you look straight up, you'll get a sense of how hilly Duluth is with the roads going straight up from the lakeshore all the way up the hillside. Makes winter driving a bit of an adventure. Back to this structure, it's called Uncle Harvey's Mausoleum, not because there's a person who's buried there, but because it's a construction worker who back in the late 1800s wanted to build infrastructure where ships could load or unload product. Of course, most of this happens within the protected confines of the harbor, but Uncle Harvey decided to put it out in the open water. Was that a good idea? No, because Lake Superior is awfully nice and friendly today, but she can get awfully windy and tough. So, Lake Superior can be awfully rough, and it turns out that shipping infrastructure of Uncle Harvey lasted less than 3 years before it was unusable. Today, it's a dive site for beginning scuba divers, and people from the shoreline will swim out there and just take dives off of it. Up on the left, you'll see a big clock tower. That is the courthouse currently being refurbished in the school district. That street to the right-hand side, at about 11 o'clock, the red building is one of the old high schools in Duluth. On the left-hand side, you will see a gray and blue and white mural of the 10 o'clock position now. That's the Lake Walk mural. It's 12 feet tall, 580 feet wide, and made up of 1.7 million 3/4-inch square tiles. It's a visual timeline of the shipping industry here in the Twin Ports. Does anyone know what's hiding behind that mural there? I'll give you a hint. It's how most of you got here, I would think. It's the freeway. That's right. That's I-35. And as we go forward a little bit, I want to keep your eyes peeled and see if you can see where I-35 emerges from its tunnel system up ahead. The next site is at 11 o'clock on your left. It's the white dome-like structure. That's the Northland Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Behind that are the names of the 136 men from this area who did not return from the war. Their names are illuminated at night, representing hope for the prisoners of war and the men who went missing in action, that they may find their way home. Unlike Uncle Harvey's mausoleum, that memorial is properly fortified to withstand the strength of Lake Superior. Duluth's original brewery, where they brewed beer for 40 years before they had to stop. Why did they have to stop? Prohibition. Prohibition put an end to the beer brewing, but they made soda pop and candy bars instead. It was renovated and refurbished in 1984 as a shopping and dining complex with restaurants, pubs, and a historic hotel. And they are back to brewing beer. Just in front of that, you'll notice a long blue staircase leading from the shoreline to a building. That building is the Portland Malt Shop. It was built in 1921 and served for 50 years as Duluth's first gas station before it became a boutique for women's clothing. In 1989, it became the Portland Malt Shop, where they serve 50 styles malts, shakes, floats, and sundaes. As we've been going along, you may have been noticing some people, bicycles, runners, people walking their dogs along the shoreline. Those folks are utilizing the lake walk, which is a wooden boardwalk alongside an asphalt path that gives people, visitors and locals alike, easy access to the shoreline. It runs for 7 miles, starting at about the other side of the canal bridge, the aerial lift bridge, pardon me. At about the 10 o'clock position, you will see 2 castle-like structures, half hidden behind some trees. This is the amphitheater of the Lake Erickson Park, where they hold outdoor performances, small festivals, and movies in the park during the summer. See some people in front of the park accessing the beach there. The park was named after the famous Viking boat that originally sailed from Norway all the way to Duluth in the year 900 and something. That's over 500 years before Christopher Columbus made his voyage. At the 10 o'clock position, you'll see the start of a long stone wall. Behind that stone wall is the Duluth Rose Garden, which is part of Lake Erickson Park. So over 2,000 roses in there. It was established in 1965, is tended to by volunteers. Has a gazebo, a water fountain, walking paths, and park benches to relax at. Does anyone see I-35? At about the 10 o'clock position, you can see it as it re-emerges from its tunnel system.
I don't get more water.
right-hand side, you see the remains of the old interstate bridge.
That one.
One way to get across the line there.
They said that there's only one part of the woods there because it's
Person clearly fell asleep on the job. Wanted to pass.
That's why that part of the
Bridge
bridge is
tender,
there.
kept sleeping. And there was an accident. The ship at the bridge causing the ship to crash. Lots of balls of water. That's why we could not see that.
Maybe they should make
If you look
that
behind
bridge
us in the
lower.
distance, you'll see the
And
second
now
bridge
a big boat with one
connects
show up
the Duluth
there.
Superior.
Because
That's called
the
the
parts
Duluth
of
Bridge.
that bridge are probably still underneath the water right there.
And then directly behind us, sort of underneath the biggest part of the high bridge there, in the distance, you'll see two docks. Those are 4 docks. So trains will come in on top of those and release their iron ore into ships. The ships will take on their load of iron ore and deliver it to ports on the lower Great Lakes and beyond. If you're driving south of 35 and you hit approximately 40th Avenue, you will be passing under the train tracks that connect to those 2 docks in the distance. Beautiful view on the left again, giving us perspective on the size of the Duluth Bridge. Over 600 feet. The longest ships that we see are over 1,000 feet.
The boat provides water to the lake. Deep when it rains, the water goes down that tube there and out into the lake.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to buy any food or drinks, make
So
sure
the ship takes water from the lake and provides water to the
fast
lake.
home. And then downstairs to the first deck, if you have to go city.
I think they mostly provide.
If you look directly on the left-hand side,